Okay, let's dive into 1 Samuel chapter 31. It's quite the dramatic moment, the end of King Saul.
It really is. A very stark picture painted in this chapter.
Yeah, so the source material kicks off with this big battle on Mount Gilboa, Philistines versus Israel.
And it's immediately bad news for Israel. It says they fled. Many were slain right there on the mountain. A total rout, really.
A rout, exactly. But then it sort of zooms in, doesn't it?
It does. The focus shifts quickly. The Philistines weren't just winning. They were actively pursuing Saul and his sons, like specifically targeting them.
And they succeed, tragically.
Yeah, the text names them. Jonathan, Abinadab, Malchishua, Saul's sons, killed right there. Jonathan's death alone is, well, huge, given his story.
Absolutely. And the fighting gets particularly fierce around Saul himself.
Intense pressure. And then the archers, they find their mark.
They wound him critically, it says.
Critically wounded, and you can just feel the desperation. He turns to his armor bearer.
And asks him. Well, he pleads with him, doesn't he?
He does. Run me through, basically. He's terrified of being captured by the Philistines, the uncircumcised fellows, and being abused. Humiliated.
But their armor bearer is just frozen, too afraid.
Yeah, the text says he was terrified, wouldn't do it. You can maybe understand why.
So Saul, he takes matters into his own hands, takes his own sword.
And falls on it. A final act to control his own end, you could say.
And then the armor bearer, seeing Saul is dead.
He follows suit, falls on his own sword, and dies there with his king. It's incredibly bleak.
So the source emphasizes this point. Saul, his 3 sons, his armor bearer, his men, all died together that same day.
Yeah, the end of an era, quite literally, right there on the battlefield.
And the ripple effect is immediate. What happens to the other Israelites?
Those in the valley, across the Jordan, they see the army has fled, they hear Saul and his sons are dead, and they just leave.
Abandon their towns.
Completely. They flee, and the Philistines just walk in and occupy those towns. A total collapse of Israelite presence there.
Wow. Okay, so then comes the next day. The Philistines are back on the battlefield.
Right, to strip the bodies, find valuables, take trophies. And they find Saul.
And what they do is, well, it's meant as a profound insult, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They cut off his head, they strip his armor, they send messengers to proclaim the victory in their temples to their people.
And the armor, where does that end up?
They put his armor in the temple of the Ashtoreths, their deities. A symbolic act. And his body.
They fasten it to the wall of Bethshan. Public display. Utter humiliation.
Exactly. A warning.
Yeah.
But then you get this counterpoint.
The people of Jabesh Gilead.
Yes. They hear what happened to Saul's body. And these valiant men, they decide to act.
Which is amazing, considering the circumstances.
It really is. It connects back, to the beginning of Saul's reign when he rescued them. They remembered that.
So they travel all night through hostile territory.
All night. A really dangerous journey. They get to Bethshan, take down the bodies of Saul and his sons from the wall.
That's incredible loyalty.
It truly is. They take the bodies back to Jabesh, burn them, likely to prevent any more desecration, and then they bury the bones under a tamarisk tree, and they fast for 7 days, mourning him properly.
So, pulling it all together from this chapter, what's the takeaway?
Well, it's this brutal account of defeat, the end of a king, the collapse of leadership, but contrasted so sharply with this incredible act of loyalty from Jabesh Gilead.
Loyalty born from a past connection, a past rescue.
Precisely. It shows how enemies might treat a fallen leader versus how loyal subjects, remembering past deeds, might respond, even in the face of total defeat.
So as you think about this deep dive, consider those men from Jabesh Gilead, traveling through the night, risking everything. What does that act tell you about the lasting impact a leader can have, the kind of loyalty they can inspire that even death and defeat can't erase? Something to reflect on.